All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. We have Eric Hardwick, John Bowler Jr., and Ken Kelly here, and I'm Ryan Rieger. Um, Guys, I'm excited to have these fellows on here. These are fellow MMA members with me. They're some of my best friends in the business and outside of the business, and I've just learned a ton from these guys. I'm super excited to introduce them to you to talk about how to use product reviews to source like a pro. All right, let's go to the next slide here, John. So guys, stick around to the end for a chance to win our bundle package that we're offering at the end. We'll have a winner of that. All right, and to introduce Eric Hardwick, he is in Washington. He is our $3 million. Eric, how many? What was your sales last year? 3 or 4 million?
Yeah, about 3.5 now.
That's crazy. So if you guys want to scale your business big, he's somebody to look at as an example. He's been selling for the past 6 years. He started with $5,000, guys, and turned it over into 3.5 million in sales last year. That's just nuts. He's got a broad knowledge of all the categories on Amazon, as you'll see. If you we play a game with him sometimes. If you tell him, say, hey, what's a 500 rank in home and kitchen, he'll tell you how many you're selling. He's a freak with that. So, but he turned his passion of creating jobs and helping people into a business of connecting Amazon sellers with highly trained virtual assistants. He has a service called TrainedVAs.com. If you guys need a VA to help you with product finds for retail arbitrage, mainly online arbitrage actually, he can hook you up with them. They're already trained and ready to go. He also has VAs do all sorts of stuff for his business, and so if you talk to him, he might even be able to help you out with stuff outside of Amazon as well. So trainedvas.com for him. Next is John Bowler Jr. He's one of my favorite guys because he founded MM8, and because of MM8, it's just my business has exploded. John's got 16 years of online selling experience and has done millions of dollars in sales. He actually started with Pokemon. Is that right, John? I think it was Pokemon
Yeah,
cards.
exactly.
But and so he and his dad teamed up and did that. And then, so they have a very family-oriented business. He's co-founded several businesses with his family. One of them was My Inventory Team. That was his idea. It's a bulk inventory closeout business. If you guys want closeout deals, get on their list because they send out emails every once in a while with deals that you can get for closeout. They also he helped co-found My Fulfillment Team. These guys are great. If you need a prep service for Amazon, they'll receive your inventory for you and send it into Amazon for you. Do all the stickering, polybagging, bundling, anything. They can do that right there in Tennessee, and you never have to see or even touch your inventory. So that's John. Next is Ken Kelly. He is the old man of the group in MMA. That's what he says. He's not really old, but he's tremendously wise. If we ever have an issue in the group, ever any infighting or whatever, which hardly ever happens, but when it does, we kind of look to him as the leader, and he just helps us through some stuff. So Ken's a bivocational pastor in South Carolina. He actually started selling books and other media items, and last year part-time. Did over 320,000 sales just on Amazon. He's a moderator for My Silent Team, which is Jim Cockram's site on Facebook. He wrote a book called Flipping Shoes. We call him the Shoe Master. If any of you guys have ever heard of David Shannon, who's in Missouri, Ken actually is the one that David credits for helping him find shoes and learning all of that. And Ken is an unashamed, huge Clemson Tigers fan. I think he goes to all the games, don't you?
All the home games, anyway.
All the home games. So
Right.
that's the team. Again, these are my buddies, my MMA buddies. And we'll get right into the presentation here. Oh, guys, also just one thing so you know, let me post the YouTube link. If any of this is fuzzy or ever it just doesn't look clear, you can use the YouTube link and go over there. I've heard a lot of people say on my webinars that sometimes Google Hangouts isn't always the best. If there's a lot of people, like especially if there's people in your house using Netflix or Hulu, make sure that they're not doing that. That'll help out a lot. There's a reconnect link at the bottom of the page, but also feel free to use this YouTube link. You can watch this on YouTube. All right, so why should I care about product reviews is the topic, or that's how we're going to jump into this, and I'll hand it over to the fellas.
So one of the reasons why I care about product reviews is for listings where there's variations.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got one rank and multiple variations. You have no idea what products of those variations are selling well. So you kind of can manually go through the product reviews and see from those reviews which ones people are leaving reviews for, and it gives you an idea of which ones may be selling better on the listing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It also can be used for private label. Eric, some of the reasons why you might use it for private label?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually many. You can use it for improving products. You can go into a existing product, and you can see how the faults of that product by looking at the 1-star reviews, and the thing that we have to offer makes this really simple. So we'll get into a little more and show you how it really works.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit deeper about private label a little bit later too.
Sure.
So those are some of the reasons why we care about product reviews. And like we said, variations being one of those reasons, and we'll do a demo here in a minute to kind of elaborate on that.
So just wanted to tell you guys a little quick story that I wish I would have had this particular tool probably about 3 weeks or a month ago. My dad does all our sourcing for our company through retail stores, that part of the business. Obviously, we have private label and wholesale and everything else, but he went crazy and he bought over $100,000 of sandals.
Whoa, 100,000?
Yeah. Took a video and showed John, and it was crazy. I mean,
Are you serious? 100,000?
Literally, he spent over $100,000 in a matter of 2 weeks. It was crazy. So this red sandal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this red sandal example. We had a listing. I think it was Nike. That the rank of the sandal was under 1,000. Okay, but as you guys know, with shoes, a lot of the time there's 10 different colors and then 10 different sizes on each color. So there's a lot of variations that make up that rank that is 1,000. So he bought all these red sandals in all different colors. I mean, he probably bought 50 to 75 pairs of like 8 different sizes, I would say, which is normally a lot deeper than we go, but he kind of went a little crazy because it was a good sale. So,
that's crazy.
So we send them in,
oh my gosh.
And after like the first week, I'm not getting any sales on these sandals. The second week, not getting any sales. So then we get this extension done, and I'm like, you know what? I need to test this out for my own. So I click on our extension, which you'll see in a little bit, and I can see that out of all the variations, the red sandals have had like no sales. So he literally probably spent, I don't know, $10,000 on these red sandals, and if I would have had this one particular tool, it could have saved me all that money because I could have told him, don't buy the red sandals. Nobody's buying them.
Oh, wow.
So that's a pretty powerful example there that I wish I would have had this tool maybe about a month ago.
I think we're still, Eric, getting over $100,000 in sandals, I think.
Yeah, I haven't gotten over that part yet.
Yeah, me either. I just had to pay the credit card bill. So.
Holy cow. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, if I could interrupt and insert something here, I get questions all the time, all kind of different questions, in the shoe business. People want to know my opinion on this or that, but I'm telling you, one of the most common questions I'm asked is about variations. And there are so many people that, you can get a good ranking shoe just like these sandals Eric has told us, and people will, they're just hesitant to buy any of them because they don't know which ones are selling, which ones are not. And I know we're jumping the gun a little bit, but when you see this extension here shortly, you'll see how this can be a huge tool for you as you go out and do retail.
Yeah, not only can it save you a lot of money, but it can make you a lot of money, as we'll show you coming up here.
Unbelievable.
You want to touch on the size thing real quick?
Yeah, so this is another thing similar to the red sandals. The other thing is with sizes in shoes. As you guys who have been selling shoes for a while know that the larger size, like size 13, or the smaller size, like size 7 for men, for example, just don't sell very well. So our extension will, prove that theory that we'll be able to show you coming up here real soon.
All right, so I guess we'll break away and do a quick demo to show this first feature using our review spy. So you can see here we're on a boot listing, and we're just going to go ahead and click on our extension here and let it do its thing. And it's going to pull back all the reviews on Amazon currently for this listing.
Can I go ahead and let me give you a little background on this particular boot. It's a Lucky brand boot, and what struck my interest on this particular one was that I can't remember what I was doing. I was kind of surfing around on Amazon. Amazon Flips is a big thing right now, and anyway, I came across this boot, and then I noticed that Amazon was selling some of these things for like $25 and $30, and I know because I'd bought the boot in the past. I think it was this past season, and the retail value on these boots are like $240.
Whoa!
And so I'm thinking, man, I think this is an opportunity for an Amazon flip, and I did go ahead and buy a few pairs. But that gives you a little story. I mean, this particular boot certainly got my interest going, and having this extension certainly gave me some good insights further into the boot.
Awesome.
And did you spend $100,000 on those boots?
Hey, I haven't seen $100,000 in months.
Our extension is called Review Spy.
Okay. Yeah, Review Spy.
So just going back to this listing for a moment. So we just we clicked on our extension up here. We clicked this little icon, and it went and kind of pulled in all the reviews for this product. And then, as you can see here, it's sorted by size and color and quantity. So you can quickly see what the top seller is at a glance, and you can scroll down and you can see what maybe the slower sellers are. You also can sort by just size. So then you can see maybe, what sizes are selling more frequently, and then you also can sort by color, which Eric would have loved about a month ago. He would have saw that the red one was down here.
Yeah, so John, can you go back to the size real quick? I just want to show, how
Sure.
powerful it is just in itself. So all the time, before I started, my dad took over the retail buying. I would always go back and forth about what sizes to buy. So for women, I typically would buy, between 7 and 9. And as you can see on here, that's exactly what this tells me. The size 6 has 1 review. The size 10 has 13. Like, bam! It's like 10 is about the largest I would ever go for women's boots. So right here, I'd normally only go up to 9, but hey, maybe I should be, going up to 9.5 or 10. So normally I'd be thinking that the 7's the average, but you can see it's like the lower half. So you learn as you go.
And those are the quantity reviews?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, John, slide the review page over a little bit, and then let's look at the boot again.
Okay.
All right, what the color that's up there is what? Sesame, okay? So if you could go back, slide the other screen back over, and go back to the color. So that gives me an idea, too, out of all the different variations, Sesame appears to be selling, less than any of the variations. So I'm not saying that ought to be a deal breaker for you, but it sure helps me to think more. Like if I'm on have an opportunity to buy this Sesame color in this boot online, I'm probably not going to go too deep on it. But I mean, if I could find the Storm version or the Black One version, at the same price, I'm going going to have a lot better feeling about going a little bit deeper on that particular variation than the sesame, just based on the number of reviews.
Awesome.
And there is a correlation, and I know Eric, the purpose of this talk tonight is not to explain the arithmetic behind everything, but as I mentioned earlier, Eric's got a mathematical mind, and he can tell you just by the numbers of reviews, how many of those are selling a month or a day or a week, and so there is some science behind if there are fewer reviews. Typically, that means they're not selling as well as the others.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken some of my, going to this label, I've taken some of my private label examples where I have different colors, and I'll pull I'll click this on my own products, and it's dead on for the ones that sell the highest, the colors. They always have more reviews, so it's proven to me over and over again.
And just to quickly review, that page that we were looking at with the extension is a summary tab, so you can quickly see the size, color, or if it's just like a clothing thing, just a size. You can quickly sort by size or color.
Definitely.
You want to quickly touch on the sports and outdoor category?
Definitely. So anybody who's done any kind of arbitrage or private label in the sporting category, they'll know that typically if you have different colors, different sizes, they all will have the same rank, just like a shoe will. Even though the shoe category lately has been crazy and they've done some weird things with the rank. But besides that, so the other good thing is in this kind of situation, you'll have, for example, the sports, you'll have different major league teams, and you'll wonder which one sells more. Well, when you click our thing, you're going to see that it's going to pop up and be like, bam, 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 the whatever team is selling more than the other, or whether it's a size. So, like for example, say you have a compression sock, and you'll see that maybe the small will be the lowest selling one, the large will be selling, 5 to 1 over the small. So then you'll know what to go deeper in, whether it's retail or whether it's a private label opportunity for you. So
we can do a quick example on the size and color, maybe on a clothing item here. Just so again, we just go to the listing and click on the extension, and this one might take a second to load. It's pulling in all the reviews, and I think this one had a good number.
And it might also be doing that too, John, because you got a webinar running as well, so that's taking up some precious resources on your computer. There's
over 900 reviews, so we like product listings like this because we get more data. Sure. If you've got a product listing that only has 10 or 15 reviews versus one that has 900, 1,000, your data might be skewed a little more. The more reviews you have, the better the data, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And, when you think about it, 900 reviews is a lot. If you were to try to do this manually, you think this takes a long time. I've done the manual way many times to try to figure this out, and this might take a minute and a half. Manually, you can be doing it for hours and hours. So, just bear with us for this next 30 seconds or so, and then we can show you the results of, when it's really pulling in all the data. There's a lot. And you can actually you can just go do other stuff while it's doing this. If you've got one that's got a lot of reviews, it'll keep running in the background, and then you can just go back to that window once it's loaded, which looks like it's going to do here in just a moment. Here we go. Perfect. So you can see.
Was this the Speedo, John? Was this a Speedo trunk?
Yes.
Okay.
And obviously you can see here there's a lot more data to kind of look at versus the last one where there's maybe 100 or so reviews or less. Yeah. And again, this is an overall picture. You can see large size and the black color is kind of leading the pack overall, but then you can sort by color. and you can see that black is the clear winner. And
Wow.
Hey, let me show you something. If you could slide that over again. And
I guess a lot of people don't like the red.
Just rub it in, John. Rub it in.
All right. See the color showing up right now is heather green, and I actually came across some of these, and I was going to pay like $10.50, and when I was just scanning it, it's the lowest price was like $29 or $30, which is a great flip, and I did buy a couple of them. But had I had an opportunity to go deep, I could have done, come back and done some research before I'd made that kind of purchase. But if you go back to the review now and just look from top to bottom, where do you find heather green? I don't think you find it at all. So out of those, ever how many hundreds of reviews there are,
wow,
not the first one was heather green.
And that's interesting too, Ken, because I always thought that the one that came up by default was the best-selling one.
Yeah.
But I provided this slide, so it could be that's the reason that came up like that.
Oh, okay.
Just because I inserted it that way.
Yeah, it would probably come up as black, Ryan. You're right. It typically does do that.
Okay. So guys, just so for people that just maybe they just joined us, because we get people that can't always make it right at the top of the hour. So what are we looking at here, and what does this mean for when you're shopping?
You want to take that, John?
Well, go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, I'll answer that a little bit. Yeah, it's not. It's probably a lot better advantage when you're doing online arbitrage. I mean, if you're not going to have this tool available, since it's a Chrome extension, and I'm hoping down the road that John and Eric, you're going to get the brains behind making this happen with our scanning apps, and so that we can make these decisions on the spot. Really, from a retail arbitrage standpoint, it's more of it helps me to when I'm listing an item to know how to price it. If I'm having to go back in and reprice, it really gives me a lot of wisdom to know how to do that. But if I'm sitting at my computer and I have some buy opportunities for online arbitrage, this tool can help me just right on the spot to know, I think this is a safe investment. Lets me know if I ought to buy 2 or 3 or whether I ought to buy 200. And so that's my initial thoughts as far as how this thing practically can
Absolutely.
work.
And just so you know, guys that maybe joined us later, John, go where it says select variation. Is there size variation on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, you can choose size or color, and it just helps you to know. Okay, if I'm looking at, let's say you have a VA that you got, and they gave you this find, and so you want to know, do I buy smalls, extra larges, or larges? Well, it looks like here large is much more popular. So then you'd look at then color, and you'd probably get the black large. That would be where you'd spend the majority of your money. So before you were guessing, just thinking, well, it looks like this one might be the most popular, and this one really just saves a ton of time not having to do this research manually.
Absolutely. And to Ken's point, my dad will be in the store now, and he will call me and say, "Hey, Eric, can you look this up for me?" So I know some of you guys work in teams or in partners or have somebody you call, but I mean, it could be as easy as that. So not only do you have the advantage online with this, but you obviously could, call somebody and have them look at this real quick. I mean, it takes a matter of, a minute for me to be able to pull it up, click the little, extension, and to basically give him, the knowledge to make a good purchase.
That's cool. And Eric, how much do you charge if people want to call you and just have you look it up for them?
That's a good idea.
Don't buy the app, just call Eric.
Thanks, Ryan.
Let me make one more comment on this too. Ryan is correct. The black large is going to be your best seller. At the same time, don't think that just because small is the the slowest seller that you ought not buy it, because I mean basically those large blacks, they're going to sell pretty quickly because this is such a great ranking item. But the small black, I mean, it's going to sell. It just may not sell as quickly as some of the others.
That's very true, Ken. I want quick ones though. I
know.
I really want to know what's moving. I hate getting that inventory back after 6 months from Amazon. So,
Oh man.
yeah, I definitely this has really helped me tremendously.
Anything else you want to demo on this screen?
I'm good.
Or okay. Well, I mean, we'll demo some stuff here in a minute, but we'll close this one here temporarily.
Is there any questions about this particular part? Anything in the chat box or anything?
No, we've actually answered everybody so far that's had questions. Guys, feel free to ask any questions. Just mark it as a question there, and then we'll either get to it like right in the middle, or we'll wait until the end and hit them all together. But yeah, don't feel shy to ask questions.
Definitely.
So another way that we use this tool is for private label, and we'll show you another example here in a moment. One reason, I think we mentioned it earlier in the presentation, that we use it is we look at products that other people are already private labeling, and we try to identify what customers are saying they don't like about the product. Eric, do you want to go into a quick story about that guy that's got a team of 200 people that's all they do for their business model?
Hey, you basically just told it right there.
It's done. The story's done.
Drop the mic. We're done. No.
Tell it again. I didn't catch it. Tell the whole story.
I don't know the exact numbers. I'm just going to tell you the general.
Sure.
But there is a seller on Amazon who has a team of approximately 200 people who go on Amazon, find the best sellers, go through the best sellers, and find the issues that people are saying they have with the products. So they'll find a bestseller in home or health and personal care. They'll go in, they'll read it, and people will say they want a different color, or it needs to be bigger or smaller, or something different. So then he'll go and he'll modify it to accomplish that. He'll relaunch that product on Amazon, and he has a gigantic business because of this. So, I mean, to be able to support 200 people doing this full time,
Wow.
Because, I mean, you're mimicking the best products on Amazon and making them better. If you find a better business model than that, let me know, because I have to get that. So this is really powerful in that regard. So John, you want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up an example, but another reason why we use it is for categories where, again, not necessarily the shoes, because I wouldn't say go private label shoes, but where there's variations with only one rank, you can also do private label. But let me bring up an example of something somebody might attempt to private label. In this instance, it is a private label. And we'll just pull up the extension here again, and we'll show you a different way to use it this time. So again, this is the listing here, so you can just take a look at it while it's loading. And like we've already covered, it shows the variations in this instance. And we're going to show you this time is the review section. So it, like I said, it imports all of the reviews for this listing. And what you can do is you can sort by rating, like we were just mentioning before, and in this case we want to do ascending order, and it's going to pull up all the 1 stars, starting with 1 stars to 5 stars, all the reviews, so you can kind of look quickly at all the negative reviews. And then you also...
I like the top one, John. Terrible hangers. The only, quote, magic is the sleight of hand used to sell them.
Yeah, so the great thing is it's not only, I'm assuming since you guys are all sellers that you use it for that, but you can also use it as a buyer. I mean, how easy is it to click something that you're interested in? We all buy from Amazon. Click this, and you can see all the problems with the exact product you're looking at right away.
That's awesome.
So.
Exactly. Another way that we use this screen is for anybody that does private label, you know that a lot of people do giveaways to launch a product. So up at the top here, you can quickly see total reviews versus verified reviews, So if there's a big gap here, more than likely they did a bunch of giveaways. If there's more verified reviews, it's more of probably organic sales. So you can kind of gauge how many giveaways, or not necessarily how many, but you can kind of see what the ratio is for this product to give you an idea if you're gonna have to do something like that to be competitive or not. Another feature
looks like you can export it too.
Yeah, another cool feature is you can export this table, and then you could do the same thing that kind of it does on this screen, is you can sort by rating, or you could also, what I like to do sometimes, and you can do this in another section here too as well. Some of these things are kind of overlap, but they all have their own individual purpose too. Another way that I would export this table and do is like you can see all these reviews here, and there's a bunch of 1 stars, but what exactly are the customers trying to say here? Like, so you can search for like words like don't or doesn't work and stuff like that within the Excel file and pull up all the reviews that say what it doesn't do. And you've kind of got another way that I do the search function in Excel is you've got this here as far as verified reviews or versus total reviews, but as a lot of you know, if you're doing giveaways, a lot of people have to put in their reviews that they got in exchange for a discount, so you can actually search those specific words and see how many people got it as a giveaway or discounted.
That's cool.
You can show the words analyzer?
Yeah, let me just make sure it touched on everything here. Oh, before we do that, let's do this real quick.
Oh, this is fun.
So this one's not a fun one. Let's do this one.
Okay.
So there's 938 customer reviews. So we're just going to quickly show you the manual way that you'd have to do this without using our extension. So you could go to see all 938 customer reviews, and you can just start plugging away here.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they don't always show you. Some of them there.
Yeah, like this, I'm looking here. So like this says size and color. So yeah, you can go through all 900 of these reviews, and you can start like putting in an Excel sheet if you want to, or Notepad if that's your thing.
Or hire one of Eric's VAs to do this for you.
And you can start tallying how many large and military green there are, and just keep going and going, and maybe on page 94, start thinking, what am I doing? And
don't make fun of people. I've done this.
This was actually pointed in your direction.
That's why we created this, because I needed it. So it's been a big.
So Eric, literally, okay. So run me through the example. If you have to do it the manual way, your dad calls you and said, "Hey, I have these deal on all these sandals." What would be your process?
Oh my goodness, I wouldn't do it with sandals. I would only do it with the private label.
Okay.
Like if I'm going to be investing in a couple thousand units or something, then I would go through and check the reviews out.
Okay.
But for a retail find, I would tell him to move on if he. I don't have the time to go through for something like that. But yeah, I would definitely go through for a private label and check it out and see what the 1 stars are talking about, because I want to make the product as good or better than it is existing. So.
Absolutely. I'm going to interject real quick here, so we got a question that you guys can answer real fast. Grant says he came in late, so he wants to know, could you also use it to look at your own reviews? For example, to see what customers are saying about your product so you can spruce up your listing, sponsored ads, etc.
Ken, you got that one?
Oh, Ken's on mute right now.
Well, the answer is yeah. I mean, you can use it on your own private label products for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You'll see a resounding. I have one particular product that is just really slow to do, and if you go through my reviews, which I've done, you will see a resounding theme. Majority of people that gave bad reviews will all say it's too slow. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a way to improve your products. If people mention different colors they like, I mean, that's just it's just a great tool all around. So many features.
Cool.
So. And just to do a quick recap, obviously if there's any questions later, we'll definitely go back over those. But the review tabs, these are some of the main reasons why we use it, to quickly see verified versus not verified reviews, to export the reviews, and you can sort by rating, or you can search by different keywords to try and see what common themes people are talking about. And you can also, like I just mentioned, like discount or dozen as an option for a keyword to put in to see. So we can go back here and do a live demo of the word analyzer and kind of how that works. And like I said, some of these features kind of play hand in hand with each other. Some of them have specific uses. So if we go to this word analyzer, if you've got no idea like what you really want to find out about a product, like a common theme of keywords, you can actually like pick, okay, I want reviews. I want a common theme of 3 words that occur at least 4 times in all the reviews, and then hit go. So now you'll see, like we were talking about earlier, in exchange for is 34 times.
Wow.
So you can do it by exporting the reviews, but we made it, and we went ahead and took it a step further in this area, and you can actually, in some instances, just get the total here, rather than manually going through the exported Excel file on the previous feature under reviews. So like you can change this up. There's normally not a whole lot after 5. That's kind of why we have the cap there, if you were wondering why it didn't only go to 5. And also, like we mentioned before, so in theory you can put at a discount and hit go, and it'll, like, you can put your own keywords in here too and see what kind of results you get.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's a cool little tool we like to use every now and again.
I use it.
That's awesome. I don't even think, when you guys showed me this, I think I remember that feature of the words analyzer. I knew you could do, like, you know, search for certain words, but then to do words count and maximum occurrences or minimum occurrences, that's really cool.
Yes, sir.
And you also, it's got an export table function as well here. If for some reason you wanted to export this out, you could do that. Let's see here. What else we got? So, going back to private label, you can also use this to export. If you've got your listing already on Amazon, you can export your product images. If, like, say you don't store them in a place where they're easy to grab, you're somewhere where you can't access where your images are, and you want to do a promotion somewhere else externally to drive traffic to your Amazon listing, you can just go to your product page and click on product images, and I clicked it twice because it didn't seem like it was working, but it'll pull in all your images right here on the side for your product, and it zips it so you can quickly access your images. Let me just, normally if you wanted to do that, it's not very easy to do. You have to go to your page source, and you'd have to just start looking for your image links within Amazon. And if you want high resolution, you'd have to, like, keep hitting the enter button. You do, like, high res on here in the search bar and just keep going. So,
Wow.
Not that a lot of people necessarily want to go that route or do that, but if for some reason you needed to grab your product images real quick, we've got you covered.
John is super organized. He's the organized one out of the two of us. So he has his stuff all in one place. But me, for example, I'll have images all over to my downloads folder, to my documents folder. So this is just a really quick way if I need to pull it out to make an eBay listing or to put on our Shopify store. Just a really quick, simple way. It's just a little extra feature. Yeah.
So obviously the next feature over, if we're going in sequence, is the custom images. So the same thing. Say you've got some reviewers that you've reached out to that do spectacular images for you. You can just click on customer image. I don't know if there's going to be any results for this particular private label product, but it would be the same thing as just happened on the product images. You'd click on customer images, it would pull all of your here it goes right now. It's so it just pulled them down. All of your customer images for your private label products now you've got in a zip file you can use, you know, externally to if you want to do a blog post or wherever you want to externally do stuff to drive traffic to maybe your Amazon listing. And this kind of goes all these kind of go hand in hand. So also we've got a video review option. So if you've got reviewers that are leaving video reviews for you, you can quick and easily, like a lot of this stuff you probably could do by doing the right-click source view and trying to go find it in the HTML abyss code.
Why do that?
I'm just saying, if you like to do things the hard way, since a lot of these people on this presentation are Ryan's audience, I assume they like the easy way.
Easy way.
I'm just saying there is a hard way out there. So just going back.
That's funny.
And we'll just go back on here real quick and pull up. So you would just click on video reviews, and in this instance, there's no video reviews, but at least the tool tells you that there aren't any. But if there were, it would zip them as well, and they'd have easy access to all the videos.
Yeah, a lot of
John,
times.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So what I hear you saying too about the customer images, that you could say I had a private label and I only had like 4 or 5 images. I look at these customer images, and man, 2 or 3 of those are better than even the ones I've got. You can actually put those onto your listing, can't you?
Go ahead.
And there's not a great answer. So what I do in that situation is I've actually reached out to. It's a little different than what you said. I had somebody do a blog about one of my products, and they had really good images on their blog. So they, sent me and said, "Hey, look at this." So I said, "Hey, is it okay if I use your images?" So
yeah,
I don't have a great answer other than I would just ask before you use them.
Makes sense.
And most of the reviewers, especially if you're reaching out to reviewers, they're going to be totally okay with you using the images or the videos. It's kind of your thing as far as your risk tolerance. If you want to just use them or if you want to ask for permission, I mean that's your own individual call.
For sure.
At the last feature, unless I'm missing something here, and feel free to tell me if I am, Eric, but is the search function. So all of the demonstrations that we've been doing so far have been on product pages, but what if you just have an ASIN that you want to just search for? So we have an actual option where you can put in, the ASIN of a product, and it'll do the same thing without having to go to the Amazon product page.
So it's like it's an extension with it functions like a standalone program. Man, that's
right.
Awesome.
And I think, let me go to the next slide, but I think that was all as far as functionality.
Cool. Let me take over from here. You guys got anything else you want to say before we tell them how they can get it?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, so guys, reviews by their regular prices. They just launched this, so regular price is $97 for it. But hang on just a second. There's a really special deal for all of you guys that are on the webinar. Ken, Flipping Shoes, this is your book. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about what this book is about, and just so you guys know, this original price of this when he launched this was $67. He just updated it for 2016, finished it up just a few days ago with some updated material, and this is going to be part of the bundle tonight. But tell them about Flipping Shoes.
Yeah, Flipping Shoes is a lot of it. Just starts out by telling my story of how I transitioned from full-time ministry into selling on Amazon, and a lot of just general elementary type things about selling shoes. I do show some tables on my sales when I first got started, some pics of different shoes that I've sold, and and then just recently updated some things that to put a little bit more meat into it. I've talked about, answer a question. Another question I'm asked a whole lot is how in the world do you compete with Amazon? And so I try to deal with that subject some, specifically as it applies to shoes. And because I'm telling you, Amazon, their goal is to sell every product known to mankind. And basically that means the more shoes you find, the more you're going to find Amazon as your competitor.
Wow.
So you do need some strategies on how to deal with Amazon. And so that's part of it. And I deal with more specifics on how to get your shoes prepped, how to make the presentation look nice, with tissue and cleaning the shoe, any kind of thing along those lines. Still, I offer in the book, some ideas or insights into my coaching. I do, take a limited number of people and coach them one-on-one. So there's information on how to access that in the book. So anyway, that's in a nutshell kind of what the book is about and some of the changes that I've made in it.
That's awesome. And again, guys, I mentioned this at the beginning, but when I introduced Ken, if you've heard the name David Shannon, he sold $2.5 million last year, Ken?
Yeah. Well, he says this current year he should top 2.5.
This year, okay. I think last year was 1.8 million, if I remember right. David Shannon came to our very first MMA conference back in 2014, and Ken had, and this is no joke, Ken had the best presentation of anybody. His shoe presentation blew people away. And so David Shannon was in the crowd. He went out and then in 2015 did 1.8 million just in shoes alone. He has people that he hires to go around for him, and so he's got a whole business model, and he credits Ken that presentation at our MMA conference for showing him the opportunity for shoes. And so now Ken's got it all in a book. So
yeah, this is the guy that just sold DVDs. That's it.
He was just selling DVDs, wasn't he?
Yeah, at 15% ROI.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, wait till you see some of the examples in Ken's Flipping Shoes book where he's getting 100%, 200%. I mean, it's just crazy. So, Ken, you mentioned that you go over how to compete with Amazon. That's a pretty good value in itself because I deal with Amazon all the time, and man, they're hard to get around. So
very hard. Yeah.
You can give me the updated version at least.
I'm sorry.
Do I get the updated version?
For whatever reason, you cracked in and out, and I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
I was just hoping you were going to give me the updated version.
Yes, sir. I'll give it to you. You're such a good guy. Hey, talking about David Shannon, did y'all see on Facebook here a few weeks ago he was advertising, wanting somebody to work full time for him in Boston and in L.A., paying them $65,000 a year to source shoes for him?
Dang.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So that's Flipping Shoes, you guys, and you get that with this. So exciting. So special webinar offer just for you guys that are on here is you get both. The first 100 people to sign up for it get both of them for $67. There's a link there. I'm going to post it as well. Make it easy for you there, and then there's the link in the chat box.
Awesome.
So $67, you get both the extension and Ken's book, Flipping Shoes. So that's the deal of the century. And so, yeah, go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, I just want to emphasize one more time what Eric had mentioned earlier on the call. We didn't have a tool like this. As far as we know, there isn't a tool out there on the market right now that does what this tool does, and it would have saved him probably $10,000 had he had this tool about a month ago. So maybe you're not buying $100,000 worth of inventory in 2 weeks, but maybe you're buying a couple $1,000s worth of inventory, and it may make or break one of your buying decisions.
Yeah, that's so true, John. That's one of the reasons why this was created. Just because, man, it can save you so much money, but it can also make you so much money. To tell you exactly which ones to buy, I mean, it's $67 to make that in 2 pair of shoes. So
That's right. For Ken, 1 pair of shoes.
yeah.
And that the $67 is that a lifetime price?
One-time fee.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Thanks, Ken, for asking that. One of these guys have other extensions that they're coming out with, and one they have called Stock Check. And John, am I right in saying that Stock Check's a yearly thing?
It is.
Yeah. So this one's not yearly. $67 lifetime. You get access to this forever. Before we do the winner, real quick, guys, answer this question for Laura. She works from 2 offices, so she has 2 computers. Can she use the extension on both?
Yeah, she should be able to.
Okay, cool. Answer is yes, Laura. If not, you can. Guys, is there an email for you guys in case they have questions?
Sellerextensions@gmail.com.
I'll post it here in the chat for everybody.
Thanks, Ryan.
Seller extensions Gmail. Okay, next slide, John, at the end, and then we'll see if there's any other questions before we wrap it up. So time to choose a winner. So I have a list of everybody that's in the room, and I'm just going to randomly put my cursor here until we find one here. I'm not going to look. All right, Letitia, you are the winner. So Letitia, don't buy this. You get a free copy. John, I have access to everybody's emails, and so I can send you her email, and you can get her the information that she needs to get the free copy. So congratulations, Letitia. Any other things you guys want to, while we're wrapping up here, guys, feel free to ask any other questions. But guys, anything else that you want to add, or anything else we can wow them with?
I can wow. Oh, go ahead.
Everybody jump at once. Brian mentioned Stock Check, but yeah, I just think that needs to be emphasized again and again. These are 2 huge extension products that I can't live without now. I'm telling you, both of them are excellent. The Stock Check just gives you the accurate figures that of each seller who's on an item that you may be wanting to purchase or list, and it will tell you the number and inventory that each one of those sellers has. I mean, we've all gone that route of plugging in $999 in the mock sell box, and you have to do that for every one of them. But this extension just eliminates so many hours of research. So when you combine these 2, Stock Check and Review Spy, man, these are Cadillacs.
I tell you a quick story, Ryan. Stock Check, you can see right there on John's screen to the middle right, there's 194 items in stock. You know, I use this every day for, I can't even tell you how many hours a day. So Amazon had a glitch last week. Down for a day, 2 days, and oh my. I told John, you've got to get on our programmer. Get on him. I'm like, it is terrible to do research without it now. I said I would pay $500 to get it fixed. I don't care what it takes. It just makes things so much easier, but that's a whole other thing. But Ken mentioned it.
Cool. Since you guys mentioned it, how there's people, Patsy and Carla, use it every day and they love it. So for people that I know, guys, we typically don't even give you the option of 2 different things on a webinar. But since you guys brought it up, how would they get Stock Check?
We can get them a link, Ryan. Is there an option in your replay where we can send that out?
I can do that, or is it on Gumroad that I can just search for it real quick, or want me to?
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, well, if they go to sellerextensions.com, I believe it'll link to Gumroad there.
Yep.
Sellerextensions.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, guys, if you're interested in Stock Check, go to sellerextensions.com. And
yeah, don't buy Review Spy on that site. You're gonna want the bundle deal.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, John, one of the questions someone's raised, Brooks raises instructions on how to install the extension.
Say that again.
How do you install this extension?
You'll receive a link, and you just basically click the link, and it'll install it in your Chrome browser. If we didn't mention it before, this basically it just works on the Chrome browser, so you definitely will need to have that browser when you're using and researching. If you use Firefox, it's currently not available for that.
Okay. Cool. Marge came in a little bit late, guys, but she wants to know, and she says it might be clear from the replay, but just let's answer her question. So,
Sure.
what's the difference between RevSeller and this?
Eric has used RevSeller way more than I have, so I will let him answer that question. If he's still there.
He's got his mic on mute.
I'll answer it. Because I use RevSeller, and in fact, those are the three extensions that I have whenever I'm doing research on Amazon. I've got RevSeller and these two that we're talking about this evening. But RevSeller will show you the rank of an item. It also automatically pops up a window showing you the Keepa research and camel research. And so, yeah, I think RevSeller is a great tool. Yeah, I think they have an annual fee for it. It's a little bit more expensive than what these are, but yeah, I in no way would disparage RevSeller because it's a great tool as well.
But does RevSeller have reviews?
No, it's completely different. Yeah.
Eric, go ahead and explain the difference there real quick from your point of view.
Yeah, I use RevSeller also, and it's a fantastic tool. But it is completely different. It doesn't have anything to do with reviews, but it definitely has its place. It lets you know if there is if the item's oversized around the main page. It lets you know the weight of it. It does basically an estimate calculator. So it's definitely a lot different.
Okay.
But
cool.
It doesn't show inventory either, does it, Eric?
Inventory levels? No.
Right.
Absolutely not. Nope.
That's why I use all three. They're all three different.
Yep.
Christy, yes, there will be recording, guys. There will be recording. So if you want to go back over any of the examples, just because I know some of these tools can look confusing, if you just want to go back over it, you can, and the replay will be sent out automatically to you. Ken, Karima wants to know how to find out about your coaching if they don't have your book.
They can email me, Ken, at mm8.com.
mm8group.com. All right,
Yeah.
I'm putting it in the chat there for you, Karima. That's Ken's email address. Just email him directly. But you want to get the book. That's a great book. So, but that's how you do that in case. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's all the questions, guys. Anything else you want to wrap up with, or?
I just appreciate your time. Yeah.
And probably want to talk about anything else you got coming around you want to talk about, or do you want to wait until the next webinar? We can save it if you want.
Well, if they do visit our site, they'll see some stuff that's coming soon.
Yes.
All right.
Correct. We got
Awesome.
some great things coming that'll make life so much easier. So.
Audrey says she won't buy any red sandals.
I wouldn't tell you.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, Eric, I still can't believe $100,000 in sandals. That blows me away.
Yeah, I'll send you the video, Ryan.
Maybe we got to do a webinar just with the video. Man, that's just
actually, I was downplaying. It ended up being 130,000.
130.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow.
Luckily, had an American Express with an open credit limit.
Oh my goodness. That's nuts. Wow. All right. That's crazy. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on here, all of you that joined us. And Ken, John, Eric, I appreciate it. Guys, grab this bonus grab this bundle because only the first 100 is all they're offering it to. Otherwise, then just the extension by itself goes up to 97 after the 100 buy it. So, and also Ken's book will not be a part of it. So you guys that are on this webinar get a special deal. Guys, anything else?
No, just appreciate your time and stay tuned for what's coming next.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.